Schwartz here with Marty Music, and we are going to learn The Pot from Tool. And I get to teach it to you on this Adam Jones custom Les Paul right here from Gibson. Pretty stoked to have this on loan to teach it to you guys. Let's go. All right, there is drop D tuning, and there's definitely some textures and different things going on besides the main riffs. So kind of the open D power chord is swelling there underneath a bit. And then finally it goes into what I call the main riff of the song. So it starts with the open D, the other open D, octave. Boom, boom, boom. And then the second one is different. So boom, 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 boom. Slow. So you want to get those two down. The most important thing with Tool, as I'm discovering, you really want to play along with the recording. So that third one, boom, 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 boom. So all three are different. Boom, boom, boom. This is the first one. First one and the second one. Boom, 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 boom. The first, second, and third one. Boom, 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 boom. And then finally, two open low Ds. And then the third fret on the low D and A string. And there's going to be various times where you play it with more intensity and it's more like a power chord. But the riff stays the same. So all together. So you hit that open D and then the 15th fret of the A string and you slowly bend it up to another D note. And then you let it come back down. Once again, you want to play along with the recording, but it's just one and then one. So there's a verse going, and there's a little bit of texture before the main riff again. One of those is, and it sounds like probably a delay effect, giving that kind of helicopter thing. I suppose you could go, but much quieter. Let's see. It's basically like a half step bend on the 16th fret G. And then releasing to the 14th fret. And then another weird effect on a D octave, so 12th fret D string. But the main riff eventually comes back in, and it's a little more intense, but it's still that same riff. So now we have a new power chord section. we're going to start on the 5th fret power chord. And it's just the top or bottom 2 strings on the 5th fret. You see the variations on the 2 strings. Bum, bum, ba, bow, ba, bow, bow, ba, bum, 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 bow. So I'm going up to the 10th fret, do, 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 down. 2 times on the 5th fret, then 6th fret to the 5th fret A, and then right back quickly. When it plays fast, it makes more sense, but it's basically... So 6, 5 on the A, back to 6, back to the main riff. So the second one starts the same. But then it's easier, actually. 1st fret. So you've got that classic 15th fret A string again. Main riff. New chord, but it's easy. It's a 10th fret power chord. Open D power chord. Same thing again. So that's all the same. And now we get, oh, gee, big shock, another riff. And it's a killer riff. I like this one a lot. Starts with that open power chord. Right? So let's get into that. All right, the next rockin' section starts with 2 hits on that open D power chord. So there's some chucking in there. Chuckadana, and I'm going 5/7. So a hammer from 5 to 7, then 5 on the A. And then So 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. And then it almost sounds like an open D, but it's a mute. So the last one before it starts over again, it is you let it ring out open. And I'm aiming for the A string, but it's all a big D power chord. Second fret power, so open power chord, riff. To the second fret, riff. Third fret power chord, riff. Then fifth fret power chord. Then the riff again, but it's open. Starts over. Now, the next little set is a variation of that, and it climbs up the... But in between, you've got this classic D power chord, which is third fret B, second fret G with the... And on the last one, it does the riff. But let's get more specific with that part. So open D power chord followed by the shape. Second fret power chord followed by the D shape. Third fret power chord. Fifth fret. So now it's not hard, but you just have to find the part. So that second repeat, instead of, it goes A power chord. So that, or I'm sorry, fifth fret. Then up to the eighth fret. Then third fret into the next section. So one more time. We get a classic little triplet hammer-on coming up. All right, now we have a new section. So there's going to be 3 open Ds, and then a quick fourth one where you then hammer 10, 12. And then 12 on the A back to E. Next time, instead of a, it's, so it's a little different. You hear that ba-da-da every other. All right, so we were playing this part. Now, there's a harmony that's going to be up here. And it goes with the other part, and it's if you're doing the triplet, you're just doing the same rhythmic thing, but it's an open and then 14, 15, then over. Now, if it's the other rhythm, just like that. And so you can put it together with. All right, before the rhythm changes on this part, there's one other harmony. So that means one guitar is playing this main line still, but then the harmony is between the 8 and 10. So everything's the same with the open D, but then just the besides. That's another one to look for. Then the rhythm changes on this part. All right, as it transitions to the next section of the song, we now go jut, jut, jut. But with that hammer-on part. Now, you know, there's really nothing too hard to learn here, but the pattern is 2 of the triplet hammer-on thing, which it hasn't done it in that order yet. Then 1 of the non-triplet, and then 1 more with the triplet. So basically the third one's not the triplet, but the rest are. Into the next section. So this next part starts with the open D, and then that hammer from 10 to 12. Now, there's 2 guitar parts here, and they combine together to play the D power chord. So if you're playing it by yourself, I think it actually sounds best just covering it over and going and letting the chord ring out. But in the original, I believe one's going and the other one, so it makes the chord. Then we're covering the 8th fret, and you go 8 on that low D, 8 on the A, then open A. And then a little thing here where you hit the 5th fret on the low D, and then 7th fret on the A, and then pinky on the 8th of that low D. So check it out. Starts over again from that 8th fret. And this is all the same, but you go. It's just a double on that 5th fret low D, and then a double on the 7th of the A. And then back to that 8th fret. But it wouldn't be Tool if it didn't mix things up. And I had to listen to this a million times, this riff. So it goes up to the 10th fret, then the open D, and then 5 on the A to 7 on the D. So from the top. So 5, 7, open D. And then you play that 8th fret power chord. and then slide from 3 to 5. There's a quick little open 3 to 5 slide. And I'm going A, D, A. Then slide up to 10th fret. And you play the same riff again. And then that little doubling again. Da, 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 ba. So from the top. Into the next part. All right, so we're doing, just chugging on that open D, and it starts with one open D, then a pull off on the 10th fret. That's a good way to remember this part. It just starts with one open. Then so then 2, followed by a pull off on the 12th fret. So and then a little rhythm just with the open D after that. So check it out. Then it's just open 10s and 13s. So there's a little kind of trill going on, and this part I am doing by ear. I mean, I looked up different, people's versions of this. And that's the best I could come up with, which is you're dragging it along these bottom 3 strings, but you want to pull off that 10th fret so it rings out open for the next sequence. Yeah. So you're going to want to play along with that little section there. You're chugging along. John to John, John to John, John to John to John, John. And a hammer on 3, 5 on the low D, 3-5 on the A. Like that. So look for the chugging to go back to like that. And then also, before the quick little run, you have a pinch harmonic. Which could be over, it's depends on what you're doing if you're playing it with just one guitar. You got that pinch harmonic. Then you also have a 3-5 on the A string before it goes into the final run before an open D power chord. So it's quick hammer on pull-offs, starting on that low D, 0-3-5, then the A, then the low D, then the A, then the D, A, E, A. All right, from here, there's just one more new part that we have to learn, or one new sequence. So we go through back to a familiar part of the song, which I guess we could call kind of the verse, chorus, all those different parts until you, and nothing new, and you eventually get to this there we go. So that's the ending, but it's from new part, 5 power chord, 8, 3, just like earlier in the song, but now it goes into this. And what we want to do is really, there's one main pattern that you want to get to know, and then they just twist it a little bit. So you want this pattern. That's what we want to start with. And so we're on the 5th of the A and 7th on that low D. 1 here, and then double there. Palm muted, obviously. And then 2 opens. Then you do it down a whole step. So from the top. Then you do that one again. So same pattern 3 times. Now we do 3 on the low D to 3 on the A into that pattern again, like that. So let's go from the top. All right. One more phrase, then it starts completely over. It's just 2 notes, and then it starts over. And that's the 8th on the low D, 6th on the A. Now it's started over. Starts over. So then it just single notes it for a second. Goes back to the double right there on that note. So. Now let's start it over. And then you just end it right there. So, there it is. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thank you again. If you haven't yet, I appreciate you subscribing here to the Marty Music YouTube channel. Feel free to request more lessons you'd like to see in the comments below. Thanks again. We'll see you later.